The hangar was nearly empty when Specialist Elena Torres climbed into the cockpit of the retired F-16. Her assignment was simple: detailed cleaning of decommissioned aircraft before they were transferred to the Aviation Museum. At 19, she was the newest member of the maintenance crew, given the jobs nobody else wanted. She didn't mind, the solitude suited her. Maya had grown up in foster care, bouncing between 7 homes in 12 years. The military offered structure, belonging, something she'd never had. She kept her head down, did her work, and tried not to hope for more than survival. The cockpit was cramped and smelled of old leather and jet fuel. She wiped down the instrument panel carefully, methodically, the way she'd been trained. Her cloth caught on something beneath the pilot's seat, a small piece of fabric wedged into the ejection seat mechanism. She tugged it free, expecting trash. It was a patch. Faded, worn, but unmistakable. A black background with a silver dragon coiled around a lightning bolt, and beneath it, words in Latin: ex tenebris, lux, from darkness, light. Maya's breath caught. She'd seen this patch before. Years ago, in a photograph she'd found in her only personal possession, a small box of items from her biological mother, who'd died when Maya was 3. "What the hell are you doing in there?" Maya jumped, hitting her head on the canopy frame. Commander James Rhodes stood at the base of the ladder, his face tight with authority. He was the base's operations officer, someone far above her pay grade, someone she'd never spoken to directly. "Sir, I was assigned to clean this aircraft," Maya stammered, climbing down quickly, the patch clutched in her hand. Rhodes' eyes dropped to the fabric in her palm, and the color drained from his face. He grabbed the ladder railing to steady himself, his knuckles white. "Where did you get that?" His voice was barely a whisper. "It was stuck in the cockpit." "Sir, I was just—" "Let me see it." It wasn't a request. Maya handed it over, watching as Rhodes examined the patch with trembling hands. He turned it over, and she saw his throat work as he swallowed hard. There were only 12 of these ever made. For a classified mission in 2007, the mission that he stopped, looked at Maya with sudden intensity. "What's your name?" "Specialist Torres, Maya Torres." The patch fell from his hands. "Torres," he repeated, his voice cracking. "Your mother, was her name Elena?" Maya's world narrowed to a pinpoint. "Yes, sir, but she died when I was 3. I never knew anything about her." Rhodes sank onto the bottom rung of the ladder, his face in his hands. When he looked up, his eyes were red. "Elena Torres was my wingman, the best pilot I ever flew with. This was her aircraft." He gestured at the F-16 above them. "That patch was from our last mission together. We flew into a hostile zone to extract a compromised intelligence team. Everything went wrong. We took heavy fire. Elena's plane was hit, but she stayed in the fight, covered the extraction until every person was safe. I begged her to eject. She said she would, said she'd see me back at base." Maya felt her legs weaken. What happened? "She got them all out. Every single person survived because of her, but her hydraulics failed on the return flight. She tried to bring the plane home, refused to abandon it over civilian areas. She almost made it." Rhodes' voice broke. "I was the one who found the crash site. She'd steered away from a school, right until the end. The impact was there was no chance." The hangar blurred through Maya's tears. "Nobody ever told me she was a hero. I grew up thinking she abandoned me, that I wasn't wanted." "Abandoned you?" Rhodes looked stricken. "Elena talked about you every single day. You were everything to her. The mission was supposed to be her last before taking a ground assignment so she could raise you properly. She kept your picture on her dash. She died making sure other people's children had parents to go home to." He stood, walked to a workbench and pulled out his phone with shaking hands. After scrolling through files, he turned the screen toward Maya. It was an old photograph, a young woman in a flight suit, laughing, holding a toddler with dark curls. Maya recognized herself in the child's face, but the woman was a stranger and yet somehow familiar, like looking in a mirror that showed the future instead of the present. "After she died, I tried to find you," Rhodes said quietly. "But you'd already entered the foster system. The records were sealed. I looked for years, Maya. I promised Elena I'd watch over you if anything happened to her. I failed that promise every day for 16 years. Maya couldn't speak. The ache she'd carried her entire life, the certainty that she'd been unwanted, unloved, was crumbling under the weight of this impossible truth. Rhodes picked up the patch from where it had fallen. "This belongs to you. Your mother earned it. And you wearing this uniform, serving the way she did, she would have been so proud." He pressed the patch into her hand. "I know I have no right to ask, but let me tell you about her. Let me give you back the mother you should have known." Maya clutched the patch to her chest, feeling the weight of her mother's courage, her sacrifice, her love. For the first time in her life, she understood where she came from. She wasn't abandoned. She was the daughter of a hero. "I'd like that, sir," she whispered. "I'd like that very much."